Hey, what's up guys? Today we're going to be learning how to do the float edit. There's probably about a million ways to do this edit. I'm going to show you guys how I do it, and I think it's pretty easy. So without further ado, let me show you how to do it. So what you're going to do is go ahead and grab your files. Mine are right here. So you're going to need to take two pictures for this. You're going to need to take your picture with you standing or floating, whatever object you're doing. For me, I was actually just sitting, or actually laying, making it look like I was floating on this stool right here. So this is my shot with me in it. And then I also have a background layer. What's important about the background layer is you want to make sure it's on a tripod. It's the same exact shot of what you're shooting, just without you, without the stool. And biggest thing is you want to make sure that the exposure is the same between both shots. So nothing moving around in the background. You want to make sure the aperture is the same, the shutter would be the same, everything has to be pretty much the same. So it's good to shoot these pretty much, you take your background shot first, and then right after that take your shot where you're going to be doing the manipulation on. So once I have these two files, firstly we're going to bring them into Lightroom. So I'm going to just drag my folder right over Lightroom. So once I have my two files, let's import. Hit the Develop tab. And let's go to the shot with me in it. So first thing for me is I'm gonna need to change this white balance in here. It was actually in a dark alleyway in Orlando, Florida. So not a lot of sun is getting in there, and plus I don't think I set my white balance correctly for this type of shot. So let's go ahead and bring those blues up a little bit. And I think for me, that looks good. Let's bring the exposure up a tad. Give it a little bit of contrast. I'm going to drop the highlights down a little bit, bring the shadows up. Let's bring the whites up. The blacks I think are fine right there. Let's bump the clarity tab up just a little bit. Let's bring the vibrance up just a hair. Same thing with the saturation. Next thing is the hue. Let's bring these reds out a little bit in the background. Let's bring the yellows to this side. Greens, those look pretty good by themselves. So that's it for hues. Let's go down to the profile correction. Let's click on that. And that's gonna change the barrel effect from that wide lens. It's a 10 to 18. So sometimes you get that. And let's transform it. Press the auto tab. Looking good. Okay. So that's pretty much it for the Lightroom effects. I'm also going to right click this, develop settings, copy settings, and we're gonna paste those settings in this shot to make sure the color, the exposure, everything is the exact same. So now it's edited the same way that this one is. Okay, command click on this, on both of them. And let's go right click, edit in, open as layers in Photoshop. So now it's gonna open it up in Photoshop, and that's where we're actually gonna mask that stool out. Okay, so I'm gonna bring the shot with me in it to the top. And as you can see, when I click on and off this layer, that's what the background looks like. So we're basically gonna need to replace that whole stool and the shadow created from under that stool, because if we just select the stool right here, it's gonna leave this harsh shadow still in there, and there's gonna be, you know, a light spot missing right there. and there, the legs of the stool. So let's mask. Then we're gonna click the polygon lasso tool right here. Now let's select that stool and take it out. So I'm gonna go on the edge right here. Just click every time you wanna drop the polygon. Now it's important, the slower you go and more carefully you make this selection, the better of a selection it's gonna be. I know I'm kind of just cruising through it, but this is just for tutorial sake. So if you make an error, you can always backspace with the polygon and it'll go one step back. And then once I get here where the this edge of the concrete slab is, this is actually gonna be my point where I'm gonna make the mask selection. So I'll drag out to here, keep going to the wall, right there. Drag out here, click the corner, come down here, click. Bring it all around the bottom to right here. Now we're gonna do the same thing on this side, drag along the edge, come right about here, and then we'll zoom in so you can see a little bit better. We're gonna come across this line now. Okay, click, come down, connect the selection. So we have our selection of this whole bottom section down here. Now what we're gonna do is press B, that's gonna bring up the brush. We're gonna make sure we're selected on the black layer. You can change it with X. If you just press X on your spacebar, it goes back and forth between white and black. And then we're simply just gonna paint. We're gonna paint that stool away. That to me looks pretty good. So we're gonna Command D, that'll deselect. And some people stop right here. They say they're done. What you can do to make it look even a little bit more realistic is create a shadow. So we'll create a new layer. I'm gonna title this layer Shadow. Okay, we're gonna go back to our lasso, and this time instead of polygon, we're gonna go magnetic. And then we're going to click right here on my leg, drag it down, around, all around the body. And same thing here, you can backspace if you need to change your selection. So just keep trucking along here around the fingers. Okay, we're gonna connect that selection right here. So now you have just the body selected. We're gonna right click, fill, contents black. Now once you have this black selection right here, we're gonna press Command D. We're gonna go to our move tool, move this down just a bit. Okay, I'm actually going to go to the lasso tool and just select this arm that's on my shirt, and we'll take that right out. Command D. Now click on the shadow layer. We're going to go filter, blur, Gaussian blur. Let's try about 60, enter. And that's a little bit too harsh for me, so I'm going to take the opacity, move it down to about 70 is good with me. Maybe a little bit lower. Let's try 60. Yeah, so 60 is good with me. That to me looks pretty cool. If you don't agree with the shadow and you think it needs to look a little bit more realistic, what you can do is make it a little bit more circular and less defined, like how my body shape is here. So you can turn off that layer. We'll go up here, shadow 2. We'll go to the elliptical marquee tool. Outline a little shadow right there. Same thing, fill, contents black, Command D to deselect it, and then we'll go filter, blur, Gaussian blur. Let's try 70 this time. Enter. Let's use the move tool, move it right about here. And let's turn the opacity down to 66. This looks good to me in Photoshop, so once you're done with that, just press Command S and it'll save it and send it directly to Lightroom. So press on Lightroom, the photo's here. So this is what we had before with this tool, now without. So if you wanted to, you can crop it. If you want to do the 4x5 Instagram crop, go to original, 4x5, press X. Let's center it. I'll just center it with my body. Enter, and that's it, just export. That's it guys, that's how you do the flow edit in Lightroom and Photoshop. Comment below how you would do this edit. Let me know if you got any value out of this video, and please tag me on Instagram at Densmore. I'd love to check out your flow edits, guys, and thank you for watching. See you soon.